Awesome. Well, hello again, everyone. My name is Caro. I'm a product manager here at PL. And with my teammate Angelo, who is going to explain about how to get started with moon landing. So my role here at PL is that I work with Deep very closely to onboard data into the Filecoin ecosystem. And you can find me at Caro on the Filecoin Slack, and you can find Angelo at Angelo on Filecoin Slack. So next slide, please. Cool. So today, real quick, what we're going to talk about is that we'll introduce you to Project Moon Landing, which is a whole entirely new program that we kind of thought of to include more SPs into our ecosystem and provide a hands-on educational program. We are going to talk about Slingshot and Evergreen a little bit in case you missed Deep's amazing talks earlier today. And we're going to talk about moon landing capsules, what these are, as well as the milestones in Project Moon Landing. And Angelo will get you started, help you get started on how to register and so on. And next slide, please. So Moon Landing is a program specifically designed by PL to on-ramp storage providers with real data. By participating in Moon Landing, you'll store public data sets that are valuable to the world. So the good thing here is that as a storage provider, you wouldn't have to go through the trouble to find clients who want to store their own data. PL will act as your client, and we want to store data that's good for humanity. You can participate in either Slingshot or Evergreen or both, and I'll give a high-level overview of what these programs are. Next slide, please, Angelo. So Slingshot is a community program for data processors and developers that reward the storage of real, valuable, and usable data on the Filecoin network. Up to today, we already have 47 pips of data onboarded since program inception. And V3 just launched with the adjusted power with Phil Plus. And that gets you even more block rewards if you participate in this. And of course, you can pick the data sets that interest you by going to slingshot.filecoin.io. If you want to know more about the program, you can check out Deep's talk earlier today for more detailed information on this program. So this is a great program to participate in if you're just getting started, because as I said, you don't have to go look for clients yourself. Next slide, please. So Evergreen is a kind of derivative of Slingshot in a way. It's a program to guarantee permanence of data onboarded through the Slingshot program. What that means is that if there data sets that are about to expire in the Filecoin network, you would go ahead and claim these data sets and do the renewal of these deals and store these data sets for a longer period of time, so you keep them in our network. The difference between Evergreen and Slingshot is that Evergreen, you would work with other storage providers that are already in the network. So if you want kind of like a working relationship with other storage providers, as well as protocol labs, you would want to choose this program over the other. It's really up to you which program you want to choose. They're very similar. So yeah, next slide, please. So this is getting a little bit of detail into the requirements. As the storage provider, you would first register to participate in the Slingshot program, and then you're expected to get car files from the data preparers if you're participating in Slingshot, or you would retrieve them from other storage providers in the network if you're participating in Evergreen. In the past, we've seen that many storage providers want to be data preparers themselves as well, and that's totally encouraged and acceptable. So yeah, we can dive into these details after as well if you decide to participate in Moon Landing. So SPs are expected to maintain a high standard for retrievability and accessibility of the stored data. And by doing that, or in order to do that, you would have to store more replicas than just one because of disaster recovery efforts. So our requirements is that you would be storing the same file up to 10 times, and each additional time you'd earn more rewards as well. So you would store max one replica in one city or one data center. You can store up to 3 replicas per country. You can store up to 4 replicas per continent. And as the storage provider, you can store 1 replica per miner ID. And as the same storage provider organization, you can store 2 replicas yourself. Does that make sense so far? I want to pause here because this can get a little confusing. Let me know if there's any questions before I go on. Okay, I don't see any questions, so I'm gonna go on. Okay, this is the fun part. Moon landing capsules. What are these capsules? So we, Angelo and I were talking about how we can help these replicas be stored to help with the disaster recovery effort and availability as well as retrievability. So we're going to have these capsules, and these are basically your cohorts within the moon landing program. So you will meet other capsule mates who are in different countries, cities, even continents, and you can help each other store replicas. So it's a great way to meet new friends, to kind of grow the community, as well as kind of bouncing ideas off of each other, and just have this kind of social aspect of moon landing. And Angelo and I are talking about even social events and different things we could do to help you get familiar with your capsule mates by participating in the moon landing program. So next slide, please. We are going to talk about milestones a little bit. So this is the first ever time we're doing this. And we kind of thought that it would be best if we kind of adjust or adhere our milestones and timeline with the ESPA program. You don't have to participate in your ESPA to participate in moon landing. It's like a separate program. However, it'll be just a bit easier if we just align our timelines. So month 1, effectively starting today, you'll learn about moon landing. You will get to know people who sign up in the first month, and we will kind of get to know each other. Month 2 is when the process of sealing real data begins. Angelo and I will be hand-holding you if you need that help to get started on Slingshot or Evergreen. And month 3 is a big milestone where you steal your first 100 tip of real data with moon landing, either with Evergreen or Slingshot. And with ESPA, a good advantage here is that you will have 2 pip of power on chain, or 1 pip if you're only participating in moon landing, which means you'll receive a lot more block rewards thanks to the power adjustment. In month 4, you will be storing more data, and as well as storing your first replica with another storage provider in your country or in your continent, or another storage provider of your choice who maybe you met through moon landing program or through other ways. We are encouraging you to store replicas so we are a better service as a whole ecosystem. And in month 5, we're encouraging you to make another replica with another SP. And in month 6 is when you hit the 400 tip milestone. Month 7 is end of the ESPA program and end of the moon landing program. We are thinking of what kind of maybe NFT tokens we could give out as kind of a reward, or kind of a souvenir that we could give at the end of the program, but that's still work in progress. It could be cool.
Hello, I'm Angelo Shelley. Thanks, Caro, for the quick introduction. I just started at PL as a solutions architect, and I've been in the ecosystem for quite a while right now as a storage provider. So I've been through V1 and V2 of Slingshot, looking forward to V3, so I'm gonna take you through it step by step and see how far we get. Is everybody hearing me correctly right now? Am I understandable? Yeah, okay, cool. Nice. So let's get started. Like Deep already mentioned, Slingshot it's all about storing that public data, those data sets that are available to everyone. So now V3 came along, and I think it's very important to take you through it. During the moon landing project, we're gonna help you succeed with Slingshot and Evergreen, so both of them. So let's see what Slingshot can do there for you. If you have any questions during my presentation, just raise your hand and I'll try to see it on the little screen, and then we'll take it from there. I'm going to switch to the website for now and then show you how that looks like. So this is the Slingshot V3 website. If anybody didn't open it yet, here are the data sets that you can look at. You know, they're still in a new stage, all waiting for their initial copy. So you can look at them here. This is not what I wanted to dive into, but here are the data sets you can look at. So as Deep already mentioned, two big things you need to be aware of. So there's the data preparer, the DP, and there is the SP out there, the storage provider. I think Deep already mentioned that too, is that you can choose either one. Both have a different incentive layer. We'll dive into that in a little bit later. The data preparer and the storage provider, right now, those both roles, we see them usually combined. You know, most storage providers will do both, but that's still up to you to do that. My opinion, looking at it, I think it makes sense to do both starting out. But, you know, if you have a data preparer available for you, or they're out there for you, helping you out, which we can also help with the matchmaking, you can get started right away as a storage provider. So as a data preparer, the technical side of it is that data needs to be prepped. Now, Deep already mentioned it. There is a technical aspect of it. It's done through a separate program called Singularity. You can, you know, go through the entire, like there's a whole GitHub explanation on how to do it. We'll not dive into that. That's something for later. Through the moon landing project, we're gonna provide you with a more technical deep dive later to explain how you can do that. So more on that later. Just on the data preparer side, let's have a quick view here. Already mentioned, the Singularity is the prep tool to get that going. Pretty easy to install. You can install as a daemon, a standalone. We can do that later to see how that goes. Just keep in mind, it has specific hardware requirements, and you know, the more hardware you throw at it, the quicker those car files will be generated. Also, that is very important if you're being the data preparer at that point. Now, all of this is here. We'll provide the links to it so you can have a look at it. It is a lot of technical content to go through. I'm just going over it right now, so you'll be aware that we're going to address this during the program. It's just very important to us that you get this off the ground pretty easily. So any questions you have, any help you need, we're here to do that. I'll give you the ways to do that in a little bit. You see, here are more parts on distributing the car files, etc. Now, one part of being a data preparer is there is a different. Yes.
It's really small.
Oh, really? Sorry.
Blow this up. Yeah, it's like
that.
There you go. Even a little bit more, even.
Really? Okay.
One more. There you go.
This is the largest
The
I can go.
Was quiet because they were like squinting their eyes.
Okay, sorry about that. like I mentioned, it wasn't really that important that you would be able to read every little detail. We'll do a deep dive later. We're just going to quickly go over the website so you have it already on your memory. So, okay, like I mentioned, the DP or the data provider has a different incentive layer that is also in the program details. Let me see. It should be readable right here. Here you go. So these are the incentive layers for the data preparer. So very important that you know that this is a different setup, because at that point you'll be prepping the data, making it available for other SPs to download. So be aware, internet connectivity, hardware requirements that you need for the singularity solution, all that combined will, depending on the amount of storage and replicas you provide, you can make this Filecoin based on that. Then on the storage provider side, there is a way different layer. Deep already talked about it, I think earlier, is through Filecoin Plus. So you'll get that 10x power by storing that data. All the data that goes through Slingshot or Singularity, Slingshot or Evergreen will go through Fil Plus, because we are basically the client, and you'll be storing that data through Fil Plus, which gives you that 10x power. Here is also like explained on how you do that on the storage provider side. We're going to do a technical deep dive on this as well, but to give you a quick overview, you'll do a request through an API with an authenticator. You'll basically authenticate yourself, getting ready to ask for proposals. If you would be in the V2 participants, you can even do a local query to just reseal your own data. Else you will just do like they say, an anywhere query and just check if there is any data out there. And I'm sorry, I mixed those two up. It's always anywhere at Slingshot. It's the Evergreen part that we'll dive into in a little bit that has the local one. Sorry about that. Once all that is downloaded, you can use that same authorization tool to request a deal after you've downloaded it. Once that deal comes in, you have 3 days to start sealing that. And like I already said, all of that is based on Fil Plus through data cap. So you'll have that 10x power, and in the end, earn more block rewards based on that. That's the storage provider side. Any questions so far?
Yes, this is separate because this is for data preparation, and the networking is rewarding. The network is rewarding you block rewards for storing the data. So the DP and SP are kind of separate. Yes. The question is, yeah.
Yes, because I couldn't hear the question. I was trying to listen, and I don't know if it comes in really computer soundy. So yeah, I don't know if it's my side or no worries. I thought it was me being in Belgium, but yes, absolutely. And we will, if you have any like technical issues or whatever, make sure to sign up for Moon Landing, which we'll get into in a little bit, so we can get you started and get you going as quickly as possible. One of the main reasons that you should dive into right away, and that's why we set those goals, is that you can make a lot more block rewards if you start right away. And to Stuart's question, we can talk about the tokenomics or the economics around it later. I'd love to dive into that. We're also going to do a session on that in the future, which I think is very important, so you know it makes sense for everybody. Evergreen. Same type of initiative. It's just like Deep already mentioned, you'll be resealing data that's already on the network. Like I mentioned a few minutes ago, you can even download your own deals from your own storage miner solution that you already have, the storage provider solution, and just reseal that data first. And then, starting after that, you can start downloading that from other SPs, because it's an SP to SP program at this point, which I'll also go through it with you. So evergreen program, let's go into it. So important here is, this is already covered by Caro. So, okay, who can participate? Anybody, or if you're an SP, you can participate. So you can leverage both programs at this point, Slingshot and Evergreen at the same time. How much capacity you have on your CM pipeline, you can just have both as a deal ingestion, which are all verified deals, so they can also help you scale up that power pretty quickly in the network. On the technical part, let me see. It's very hard to go over it when it's that large. Okay, here we go. So one thing, again, you need to download the authenticator to work with it. It's the same principle as in Slingshot V3. Basically, if you want to make a storage deal, in this case, after you authenticate it through the Evergreen system, you will be able to renew at this point the deals that are already out there. You need to download them first, of course. One of these is, like I just mentioned, is the local part. You'll just automatically get an overview of all the deals you sealed on your own storage solution, making them very easy to reseal. The download rate is very quick, of course, because it's locally. You just reseal them and you're already onboarding and making sure that that data stays preserved on the Filecoin network on your end, and then you're ready to go and do that on the network itself to do a query like that. Here, we'll just do a quick check on all the available deals are out there. It's a large list, so you can just choose how to do that. I don't know if anybody already worked with it, but if you give it a try, don't be alarmed about the long list is. There are ways to manage that, which we will do a technical deep dive on later. So if you want to start storing data and have that 10x power right away, and right away have those verified deals coming in, I would suggest to sign up here in this forum so we can reach out to you. We will add you to the Slack channel and invite you to virtual workshops or technical virtual workshops. We'll do build tutorials to make sure that you know how to use them and get started on that. If you are willing to give us some feedback on the project itself, please go to the sign up form, which has a feedback part of it. If you want to go directly to the Slack channel itself to join the moon landing program, it will be available at Moon Landing Capsule 0, which we're starting at, which will also carry all the information we'll be sending out for any tutorials or virtual workshops or socials that we're going to put together. If you want to reach out to us directly, you can do that at Caro or at Angelo. Because I'm one of the solutions architects and I've been, a storage provider for, since day zero, I'll also be very active in this particular channel. So if you want to set up some time apart and discuss anything storage provider related, you can do that. I will also provide you with some time for that. It doesn't need to be technical. It could also be on the economic or tokenomic side. It's always happy to discuss that. That being said, any more questions from the audience right now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll repeat the question. So question is on the data processor part or data prepare part. You need a way different set of hardware than the storage provider itself. You just need compute and quick storage to prepare it, right? That's your question.
That's it, yes.
Okay, so the answer is yes. Yeah, you don't need a whole full-blown storage provider solution at all. The data preparer side it could be a way separate business where you can do that. Yes, absolutely. We encourage it even because then you can like focus on your specific task or your specialty to do that specific thing for the network, and all storage providers can benefit that if you can even build a business around it. Thank you.